England beat India by 227 runs at Chennai to go 1-0 up in the series. Chasing 420, India bowled out for 192 on day 5. Joe Root received Man of the Match award for his outstanding double century. India captain Virat Kohli adds another feather to his cap, surpasses Clive Lloyd to go 4th in most runs as Test captain, also equals Sourav Ganguly in the list of most 50-plus Test scores for India. In a major upset in Australian Open, two-time champion Victoria Azarenka knocked out in round 1 by world number 61 Jessica Pegula. Easy wins for Nadal, Medvedev and Andrei Rublev. In football, Bayern Munich advanced to the Club World Cup final after goals in each half by Robert Lewandowski. Register 2-0 victory over African champions Al Ahly in the semi-finals. Namaskar, I'm Abhishek Mahajan and welcome to Sports Pulse. Let's start our bulletin with India-England Test match. Joe Root led England to an emphatic 227-run win over India in the opening test at Chennai, boosting their hopes of securing a rare series win against the host. England spinner Jack Leach claimed 4 wickets and paceman James Anderson 3 as India were dismissed for 192 on the final day while chasing a record 420 for the victory. Victory was all the more impressive for England as it came just a month after India's upset series triumph in Australia, where they handed the hosts their first defeat at Brisbane's Gabba ground since 1988. England captain Joe Root has now drawn level with Michael Vaughan as England's most successful Test captain. England has sealed their 6th consecutive win in Asia. So this is big. England registering the victory by 227 runs, completely outplaying India in the first Test match at Chennai. And right from winning the toss to batting first, they completely outplayed India. They performed well with the batting. And then again with bowlers like James Anderson led from the front and Jofra Archer, Jack Leach, Tom Bess all performing and rising to the occasion. Now let's listen in what Indian captain Virat Kohli said after the match.
The test probably shifted in their favor when we batted in the first innings. Because we were looking to bat long and we were not able to do that, and I don't think there was enough application shown by us as a batting unit, something that we take a lot of pride in. And yeah, we look, these milestones and all these kind of things is not something that we think about. We think partnerships and we think putting the team into good positions.
Yeah, we'll come back to Sports Buzz again, but let's go straight across to the Health Ministry press briefing.
5.35% हो गया है और ये भी लगातार घट रहा है। ये बड़ी पिक्चर है देश में कोविड के स्टेटस की। अगर हम देखें 7,800 के करीब केसेस पर मिलियन हैं। एक्टिव केसेस केवल 1.32% हैं कुल केसेस के। जैसा मैंने कहा कि 1.5 लाख से कम हो गए हैं। 1,43,000 एक्टिव केसेस हैं। मृत्यु 112 पर मिलियन है और टेस्ट्स 20 करोड़ से ज़्यादा हो चुके हैं। 1,46,800 से अधिक टेस्ट प्रति मिलियन हुए हैं। पॉजिटिविटी लगातार घट रही है। अगर आप वीकली पॉजिटिविटी को देखें तो ये 2% से कम है और अगर आप क्यूमुलेटिव पॉजिटिविटी को देखें तो ये 5.35% है। केस फेटिलिटी रेट भी लगातार गिर रहा है। 1.43 इज द क्यूमुलेटिव केस फेटिलिटी रेट। मृत्यु दर 1.43% है और अगर आप पिछले सप्ताह के मृत्यु दर को देखें तो ये 1% से भी कम हो गया है। तो ये अपने आप में एक बड़ी अचीवमेंट है जो कि राज्य सरकारों, संघ शासित क्षेत्रों और भारत सरकार के सहयोग से संभव हो पाया है। अभी भी 2 राज्य ऐसे हैं, जैसा हमने पिछले सप्ताह भी आपको बताया था, केरल और महाराष्ट्र, जहां देश के कुल एक्टिव केसेस के 71% केसेस हैं। 65,000 से कुछ अधिक केस केरला में हैं और 35,000 से कुछ अधिक केस महाराष्ट्र में हैं। इसी को अगर हम एक पाई डायग्राम के रूप में देखें तो केरल में 45% से अधिक एक्टिव केसेस हैं, महाराष्ट्र में 25%, कर्नाटक में 4%, वेस्ट बंगाल में 3%, तमिलनाडु में 3%। तो ये स्थिति एक्टिव केसेस की है। लेकिन इसके भीतर क्योंकि हम ग्रैनुलर डिटेल्स को भी रिव्यू करते हैं और फिर राज्य सरकारों से संवाद में रहते हैं, हम आपको ये बताना चाहते हैं कि इस प्रतिशत के भीतर भी वेरिएबल ट्रेंड्स हैं और वो ट्रेंड्स ये हैं। अगर हम देखें कि जनवरी में क्या स्थिति थी और फरवरी में क्या स्थिति है इन दो बड़े राज्यों में जहां 71% एक्टिव केसेस हैं, तो महाराष्ट्र में जनवरी में 53,000 एक्टिव केसेस थे और ये घटकर 35,991 हो गए फरवरी में। सो देयर इज ए gradual decline, but in absolute numbers Maharashtra still contributes the second largest number of active cases in the country. केरल के केस में मामला कुछ उलट है। केरल में जनवरी में 64,000 से कुछ अधिक एक्टिव केसेस थे और फरवरी में वो बढ़ गए घटने की बजाय और 65,670 हो गए। तो हम लगातार राज्यों से संपर्क में रहते हैं और उन्हें बताते हैं कि किस प्रकार की कंटेनमेंट की कार्रवाई, किस प्रकार की सर्विलेंस की कार्रवाई, किस प्रकार की ट्रीटमेंट की कार्रवाई उनको करनी चाहिए ताकि इन नंबर्स पर, इस संख्या पर नियंत्रण पाया जा सके। लेकिन तस्वीर का एक दूसरा पहलू भी है। देयर इज ए ब्राइटर साइड ऑफ द पिक्चर ऑल्सो, which is that there are 33 states and UTs in the country which have less than 5,000 cases. So the range is from 4,600 cases in West Bengal to 5 cases in Arunachal Pradesh. तो ये बताता है कि देश के बहुत बड़े हिस्से में 33 राज्यों में और संघ शासित क्षेत्रों में 5,000 से भी कम केस, एक्टिव केस रह गए हैं। 15 राज्य और यूटीज ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने पिछले 24 घंटे में कोई भी नई मृत्यु कोविड से रिपोर्ट नहीं की है और 7 राज्य और यूनियन टेरिटरीज ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने पिछले 3 हफ्ते में कोविड से होने वाली कोई मृत्यु रिपोर्ट नहीं की है। ये 7 कौन से राज्य और यूटीज हैं? ये हैं अंडमान, अरुणाचल प्रदेश, त्रिपुरा, दादरा एंड नागर हवेली, मिजोरम, नागालैंड और लक्षद्वीप। 15 राज्यों की भी जानकारी हमारे पास है लेकिन वो हम आपसे अलग से शेयर कर सकते हैं। ये मैं आप इशारा कर रहा था जब मैंने प्रारंभ में आपको बताया था कि वीकली डेथ रेट बहुत तेजी से घट रहा है। आप देखेंगे कि पिछले 5 सप्ताहों में कोविड से होने वाली मृत्यु में 55% की गिरावट दर्ज की गई है। 55% डिक्लाइन इन एवरेज डेली डेथ्स बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड इन द लास्ट 5 वीक्स। अगर जनवरी के पहले सप्ताह में देखें तो जो औसत प्रतिदिन होने वाली मृत्यु थी वो 211 थी और अब अगर हम देखें 3 फरवरी से 9 फरवरी वाले सप्ताह में तो औसत प्रतिदिन होने वाली मृत्यु घटकर 96 या 96 हो गई हैं। हम प्रत्येक सप्ताह भी देखते हैं कि हमारे देश में क्या स्थिति है इन्फेक्शन की एंड हाउ डज दैट पोजीशन कंपेयर विद द सिचुएशन ऑफ द पेंडेमिक और इन्फेक्शन इन अदर कंट्रीज। तो अगर नई मृत्यु पर मिलियन पॉपुलेशन को देखा जाए पिछले सप्ताह तो भारत में ये 0.5 थी, रूस में 24, ब्राजील में 33, फ्रांस में 45, इटली में 45, जर्मनी में 55, यूएसए में 68 और यूके में 96। तो ये साप्ताहिक आंकड़े आपको ये बताते हैं कि इन्फेक्शन किस दिशा में जा रहा है। इसी प्रकार अगर हम न्यू केसेस पर मिलियन पॉपुलेशन देखें पिछले सप्ताह के, तो हमारे देश में 58 न्यू केसेस पर मिलियन पॉपुलेशन दर्ज किए गए पिछले सप्ताह में। अन्य देश हैं जहां की 700 से लेकर 2500 तक ये केसेस प्रति मिलियन दर्ज किए गए पिछले सप्ताह। अब बात करते हैं वैक्सीनेशन की। ये मेरे सहयोगी डॉक्टर मनोहर अगनानी आपसे शेयर कर चुके हैं। उन्होंने आपको बताया था कि हमने 60 लाख वैक्सीनेशन से अधिक कर लिए हैं। 60 लाख वैक्सीनेशन करने में हमने सबसे तेज गति से ये वैक्सीनेशन किए 24 दिन में। यूएसए में 26 दिन लगे, यूके में 46 दिन लगे, और जो अधिकांश वेस्टर्न इकोनॉमीज़ हैं वहाँ तो 60 लाख का आंकड़ा अभी छुआ नहीं गया है, तो इसलिए वो कंपैरिजन हम आपको नहीं दिखा सकते हैं। लेकिन देश के भीतर भी जो स्थिति है, कुछ राज्यों ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, कुछ राज्य हैं जिनको और बेहतर काम करने की आवश्यकता है। तो ये 12 राज्य और यूनियन टेरिटरीज हैं जिन्होंने अपने हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स के कुल डेटाबेस का 65% या उससे अधिक लोगों को पहला डोज वैक्सीनेशन का दे दिया है। पहले नंबर पर बिहार है, इन्होंने 78% लोगों को कवर किया है पहले डोज से। दूसरे नंबर पर त्रिपुरा है 77%, फिर मध्य प्रदेश तीसरे नंबर पर 76%, उत्तराखंड चौथे नंबर पर 73%, फिर उड़ीसा 72%, मिजोरम 69%, हिमाचल प्रदेश 68%, उत्तर प्रदेश 68%, अंडमान एंड निकोबार 67%, राजस्थान 67%, केरला 66% and Lakshadweep 66%.
Press briefing on COVID-19 and Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan clearly saying that India fairly doing well in combating COVID-19 and the case fatality going down, which is the biggest positive. Let's get back to Sports Buzz again. We were talking about India-England test match at Chennai. England completely outplaying India, and to discuss more on this, our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya is joining us live from the newsroom. Tapas, England completely outplaying India, if we can say this, right from winning the toss when they batted, Joe Root doing exceptionally well, Sibley also giving him a very good stand, very good chance, very good partnership between both of them, and in bowling also James Anderson, Jofra Archer, Jack Leach, Dom Bess, everyone rising to the occasion.
Right.
So,
Abhishek, so when we talk about this particular Indian team, we have realized that their inconsistency is something that is quite heartening. From the highs of winning in Australia to to the Chennai defeat, one would say that the inconsistency is something that is it's hard to miss. Be it in the first innings, England's first innings, where they probably didn't had any clue after once Joe Root got settled in. There was no plan B, plan C when your plan A got deflated. And also Indian spinners, they had 3 spinners. And the 3 spinners, apart from Ravichandra Ashwin, none of the spinners actually managed to have a major say. In fact, Shahbaz Nadeem, in fact, was he bowled almost 9 no balls in this particular match, 6 in the first innings. The accuracy that for which Indian spinners are known and create that particular pressure over the opposition, that was something that was completely missing. Along with Ishant Sharma's, he looked a bit rusty in the first innings. And also India's batting lineup, a lot of questions will be asked from them, especially the way the top order, Rohit Sharma, Ajinkya Rahane, and other players didn't contribute much. So team selection and India's inability to pick up 20 wickets in a match where England spinners showed the way, along with Anderson, the way Anderson bowled that particular spell before the lunch, where he got 5 overs for 3 middens and 6 runs and 3 wickets. That actually broke the back of India's batting lineup and led to this particular victory by England in this first test match.
Right, Tapas, you mentioned about India's bowling. You said that Nadeem bowled almost 9 no balls, and that's unprecedented. But again, do you think England take most of the advantage when Nadeem and Washington Sundar were bowling? And a lot of questions will be raised that why Kuldeep Yadav was not played in the first place.
Absolutely. So what happened is that you have got Nadeem, who is a left-arm orthodox spinner. You got Washington Sundar, who is basically an off spinner, who though doesn't turn the ball as much as Ravichandran Ashwin. So you've got in a way a one-dimensional sort of a spin attack, and in a way for a country like India, where we have a lot of spinners, that seems a little odd considering the fact that Kuldeep Yadav cooled the bench all throughout Australia tour and here also, and somebody like Nadeem coming in the side and straight away getting a chance to play. Now the question, a lot of people are saying that it is because of their better batting average that these people have got the chance. Now the idea is that test matches, you only get to win test matches by taking up 20 wickets. The only reason you can get 20 wickets is if you have spinners who have the capability of taking those 20 wickets. Kuldeep Yadav vis-a-vis other spinners is quite baffling. If he is not getting a chance to play and others are getting a chance to play just purely on the basis of their batting, they have not set the stage on fire with their batting. Have they? Have they scored a century? Have they managed to save the test match? No, that's not the case. So if that is not the case, the primary work of a spinner, of a bowler, is to take wickets. If that is not happening, then a lot of questions will be asked about the team management's team selection.
Absolutely, Tapas, like you mentioned, Shahbaz Nadeem wasn't even there in the squad earlier. He was the replacement player for Akshar Patel. So we'll discuss about this, but let's listen in what Virat Kohli said after the match. He in fact said that the team needs to focus on long-term partnership rather than individual centuries. Let's listen in.
As well, there's just not one way to play the game, and as a batting unit we understand that quite well, and our endeavor in the future games is going to be long partnerships and not necessarily focus on getting 100 as individuals.
Right, and also England's win against India has helped three-time champions, I should say, three Lions, I should say, to jump to the top of the ICC World Test Championship standings, and New Zealand has already qualified for the final, winning 70% of its matches. Tapas is with us. Tapas, now what are the permutations and combinations? The equation is completely different now. New Zealand has already qualified, and now for India to qualify, what are the permutations and combinations? At least 2-1 in the series?
At least 2-1, and hopefully the other match will be a draw. 2-1 or 3-1 win in the particular series will actually guarantee them a spot in the World Test Championship. Otherwise, all those talk about being a superpower in cricket, world cricket, will come to naught if they are unable to manage get a spot in the World Test Championship. Now, having said that, India will actually like to take this match as a bitter pill. Remember, in Australia also they lost the first match and they came back strongly. So they will be hoping that they can recreate the same sort of a magic. The next Test match is also in the same stadium, same pitch, not the same pitch, in a different pitch, but the same stadium. So one would be hoping that it brings a major change. Chennai has always been a hunky ground, good luck charm, has brought good luck charm for the country, for Indian team, and the last time in fact they lost a match in this particular venue was way back in 1999, where Sachin Tendulkar played that brilliant 100-run innings and against Pakistan and yet managed to lose that test match. So they will be hoping that Indian team bounce back, Indian fans, and they take the series by at least 3-1 margin and secure a spot in the Test Championship. Just to give you another part, it seems that Pakistan in fact is running as a dark horse in this particular Test Championship, the way they are playing right now. So a three-way race is going on for this particular Test Championship.
Absolutely, and Tapas, also Australia and South Africa series has been postponed, so that has given a little bit of advantage to India, but we'll come back to that. India captain Virat Kohli added another feather to his cap when he surpassed West Indies great Clive Lloyd to become the fourth highest Test run scorer as captain. Kohli achieved the feat during the first Test against England in Chennai, as the Indian captain scored his 24th half-century in the innings. Kohli also equalled former India captain Sourav Ganguly in the list of most 50-plus Test scores for India.
to happen, because they have just they have been to Sri Lanka, they have defeated Sri Lanka 2-0, and Joe Root was again the architect of that particular victory in that series, and here also he has been absolutely in tremendous form. So each and every individual needs to up their game. There has to be a big partnership. So if you are chasing a deficit of 500 plus runs in the first innings, one has to look at creating a partnership at the top order. So, and the top three, so Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Ajinkya Rahane, Virat Kohli, these four people has to take the bulk of the scoring opportunity. They have to score big runs, not just 100, but let's say 150, 200. So that is one of the reasons why you will be able to put a pressure. The reason why India were on the back foot right from the start was that they considered a huge first innings lead, and that actually led to their downfall. And none of their batting, superstars actually came to the party when actually they were needed. So that's another thing that the team management will be looking to rectify, along with the bowling combination that will be looking to play in the next match.
Absolutely, Tapas, and right from the start, India were at the back foot, rightly mentioned by you, and Virat Kohli in fact questioned the body language of the Indian players in the first innings also. That also raises a lot of questions. Thank you, Tapas, thank you for giving us those vital inputs. Moving further, for more cricket updates, let's take a look at this cricket wrap.
Pakistan won its first series against South Africa since 2003 by a 2-0 margin, with a 95-run victory in the second test on the 5th and the final day in Rawalpindi.
Now news from the first Grand Slam of the year, Australian Open. Rafael Nadal's chase for a record-breaking 21st Grand Slam title is off to a good start. The world number 2 defeated Serbian Laslo Djere 6-3, 6-4, 6-1 to reach the second round of the Australian Open. Daniil Medvedev registered his 15th straight win today. He defeated world number 61 Vasek Pospisil in the first round of the Australian Open 6-2, 6-2 and 6-4. Also, Andrei Rublev registered a straight sets win over Yannick Hanfmann and entered the second round of the Australian Open. The 23-year-old Russian won the match 6-3, 6-3, 6-4. And in a major upset, two-time Australian Open champion Victoria Azarenka was dumped out of the first round by world number 61 Jessica Pegula. Azarenka held a 5-2 lead in the first set, only to lose 5 games in a row to drop the set. Pegula took the match 7-5, 6-4, registering her first career Australian Open win. Moving on to our next story, Elina Svitolina defeated Marie Buzkova in the first round. The 26-year-old Ukrainian won the match 6-3, 7-6. Another match, Coco Gauff wrapped up a clean 6-3, 6-2 win over Dil Tieckmann. The 16-year-old needed just 56 minutes to advance. Next story now, in form, Garbiñe Muguruza continued her good run with a 6-4, 6-0 win over Margarita Gasparyan in the first round of the Australian Open. And also, Sofia Kenin won against local wildcard Madison Inglis with the pressure of defending her Australian Open title. The fourth seed prevailed 7-5, 6-4 in 1 hour and 26 minutes. Football story now. Bayern Munich advanced to the Club World Cup final after goals in each half by Robert Lewandowski sealed a 2-0 victory over African champions Al Ahly in the semi-finals. The European champions faced Tigers in the final on Thursday after the Mexican club saw off Brazilian giants Palmeiras in Sunday's other semi-final. Lewandowski gave Bayern the lead in 17th minute. He then headed home a Leroy Sané cross 4 minutes before the whistle to book Bayern's place in the finals. Lewandowski, the Bundesliga's top scorer, has now scored 29 goals in 27 club matches this season. Moving further, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs 31-9 on Sunday in front of a limited crowd due to COVID-19 pandemic to become the first NFL team to win a Super Bowl on their home field. Brady's age-defying performance, which earned him the Most Valuable Player award, brought the curtains down on what was perhaps the most challenging season the NFL has had to navigate. More on this spot.
Tom Brady threw 3 touchdowns as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers thumped the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9 to win the Super Bowl on Sunday, giving the evergreen 43-year-old quarterback a record-extending 7th championship ring. Brady's age-defying performance, which earned him the Most Valuable Player award, brought the curtain down on what was perhaps the most challenging season the NFL has had to navigate because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic kept stadiums mostly empty throughout the season, and restrictions limited Super Bowl attendance to 25,000 spectators sprinkled among 30,000 happy-faced cardboard cutouts. While the pandemic reigned in America's biggest sporting party, the show went on as scheduled, and once again Brady, appearing in his 10th Super Bowl, was the star, completing 21 of 29 passes for 201 yards. The NFL championship game had been hyped as a battle between Brady, recognized as the greatest quarterback of all time, and Chiefs counterpart Patrick Mahomes, widely regarded as the best in the game today. But in the end, it was no contest, as the Bucs' rampaging defense harassed Mahomes the entire night as the Chiefs' Super Bowl title defense came to a jarring end. The only team to play a Super Bowl on their home field, the Buccaneers made the most of their opportunity. In the opening half, it was the Brady and Rob Gronkowski's show as the former New England Patriots hooked up on 8 and 17-yard touchdowns. Brady also made the Chiefs pay dearly for some undisciplined play, connecting with Antonio Brown for a touchdown strike with 6 seconds left in the half after pass interference and unsportsmanlike penalties put the ball on Chiefs' 1-yard line. Meanwhile, Mahomes and the Chiefs' explosive attack could not get in gear, with scoring limiting to a pair of Harrison Butker field goals to go into the intermission down 21-6. The Chiefs struck first in the second half as Butker booted another field goal, but the Buccaneers would hit back with the Leonardo Fournette 27-yard touchdown run and a Ryan Succop field goal to cruise into the fourth quarter with a 31-9 lead.
Well, that's all we have in Sports Buzz. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.